Greetings. Welcome to Lockdown Level Up Live with Colin Clapp on what is Thursday, the 16th of April in my time. Central European time is 10:15 at night, and if you've been following along, you'll know that this is partly due to there's just not enough hours in the day. In fact, my eldest daughter was still up a few minutes ago, and it's probably not even asleep. So yeah, lots to juggle. So what's in store for tonight? This is a day 4 of Lockdown Level Up Live, and I'm stoked to be here. I've made a commitment to keep showing up, and I'm hoping that you guys are going to do the same. So it's a new show, but I'm here for you. So hoping to provide some connection, some chat, a bit of self-accountability, but most of all have a bit of fun. Okay, this is meant to be a show that think of it as like a radio show, and you're just going to come on and we're just going to jive and try and make the world a more positive and optimistic place. Okay, that is my role. Teach everything you know. I'm here to make myself available. If you want to do a website review, there's little things we can do. We can start the countdown and do a website review. So let me know if you've got a website and you want it to be critiqued. I'll give you a bit of feedback. So yeah, that's the agenda. I'm going to have some fun. I've got some new equipment. If you've been here the last couple of nights, you know that I am making myself accountable to use Ecamm Live. So I'll come and talk more about that in a minute. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Let's get rid of the clock. We don't need that right now. But as you want a website review, that's what we're going to do. We'll put the clock on and we'll do one. So so who am I? I am Colin Clapp of Parenting Passports and Profits and Online Marketing Done For You.com. I am the dad and chief techie in our family. I have a partner, Ellie, and 2 beautiful girls. One is 6 and one is 15 months old. I'm a bit of a late developer. Come to the parenting party quite late. There's plenty of grey hairs underneath this hat. I got nowhere to get it cut in lockdown. In the middle of rural France. So we are a location independent world schooling family. We've been without a permanent home for about 3 and a bit years, mainly in Southeast Asia. We're from New Zealand. As I say, we've been on the road about 3 years. When we started our location independent journey, we had no idea what we were doing. It came off the back of some unpleasant life circumstances, and we had to brush ourselves down and sort of start all over again. And going on the road and developing a location independent way of life has been a challenge, but one that we have thoroughly sort of grown into and are absolutely loving. So we left with 1 child. She was about 3 1/4. Then about halfway through these 3 years, we fell pregnant with our second daughter. So we had a brief trip home to New Zealand at the back end of 2018, and our second daughter was born in 2019. And then we went straight back on the road before she was 10 weeks old. So she was born in New Zealand, but has hardly taken a breath there. Here we are. I also run a small online marketing done for you agency. I do search engine optimization, keyword research, website reviews, and some email automation and those sorts of things. So if I can help you out with any of that, we can do screen shares and all sorts of things like that. So I'll come back to that in a minute. This show's meant to be interactive. I am just the host, and I'm going to tell you why I'm stepping up and playing this role in just a minute. But down below you'll see my Skype ID, and the software I'm using to broadcast the show means that if we connect on Skype, you can come onto the show, but we can chat via Skype, and you can come straight on the show and tell us all about what you're doing. You can do a screen share at your end, or you can literally just sort of put up and show me what you're working on or whatever, show the audience what you are working on. So yes, if you're new to the show and you haven't seen this before, and you want to encourage what we're doing and have some fun with it, you know, I haven't got my microphone in, so I hope. See, this is what it's all about. I'll explain in a second. Oh my God. I have been talking and you probably haven't heard a word. Who knows? But if you're watching, leave me a comment and tell me how much you have missed. Have we got any comments? Not right now, but yeah, if you missed any of that, do I need to repeat it? I do apologise, but maybe that's a good intro into why I am here. So now what I need to do is acknowledge that I've also got the live feed open, so I will be getting some feedback. So what I probably need to do, this happened last night, I need to make sure that I am not receiving the feed as well. So what's happening here is this live is delayed, so what you're seeing is about probably, I don't know, 30-40 seconds behind me, and what happened last night was that the show was being played back, so the download was affecting the upload. So apologies if I've interfered with the upload download speed. So we are in rural France in the middle of nowhere. I can't promise that I have the greatest internet connection, and as you can see, I haven't got fantastic setup. This is I'm going to tell you why I'm not worried about that. It's not what it's all about. I'm here because I want to show up and be of value and help to anyone who might need it in these trying times. Okay, so yeah, there's my Skype ID. If we're not connected, I invite you to connect. Let's become friends. Let's step forward and get to know each other. If you know me from a previous life or a current life, say hello, reach out. Let's reconnect and tell me what's going on in your world. What's lockdown look like? Oh yeah, there we go. Let's play. Where in the world are you? I want to know if you're watching. Where in the world are you? Tell me in the comments. Maybe tell me. Oh, that's interesting. Move. Oh, I'm hoping you can still hear me. Yep. I'm assuming you can still hear me. I hope so. Yeah, where in the world are you? Leave it in the comments. What does lockdown look like for you? Yesterday we heard from some New Zealanders, and we heard from some Americans in Mexico. So yeah, what's lockdown look like for you? Do tell us. And if you're watching, yeah, just leave something in the comments, and I will be able to see that, and maybe we can highlight it, and maybe we can learn from it. So. There's my Skype ID. Let me know if you want to connect on Skype. I haven't got Skype loaded right now, purely just because keep the computer concentrating on the live stream. But if you can come on, and I'll tell you why you can come on, and hopefully encourage you why you should come on. We can make that happen quite easily. All right. So yeah, but if you're new to the show, I would love it if you can support the show, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, please. YouTube loves all that. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. That will all be helpful stuff. I really appreciate that. So okay, on with the show. So why lockdown? Why level up lockdown? And what does it mean? And what can it do for you? So this show came. If you've read the notes, if you've read the description, I have sort of alluded to it all there. And there's a few reasons. The main one is compassion, connectivity, some chat. You know, a lot of people are in strange circumstances, cut off from their normal communication with friends and family, and maybe haven't got all the great relationships that they want, or the general chit chat. And sometimes I can be guilty of taking life a bit too serious and work a bit too serious, and so I've challenged myself to lighten things up, create this environment where we can connect, chat, have some fun, um, yeah, and get through this with coming out better, stronger, fitter, and doing our bit to 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 make the world the better place. If we have better human relationships, in the long run, I believe the world will be a better place. Okay, so but there's a few factors that came together. So that was number one. I was then listening to a podcast from a friend of mine, Martin Abonge, very inspirational young man that I met in Bali a couple of years back, and we've stayed in touch. He has a podcast. He's incredible. He puts it out daily. But I was listening to one of his recently, and he said that this time, this unusual time, is the period where no one can claim that they don't have time. Now that's I'm sure he didn't say those words literally, and I don't mean that either. There's some people who've got less time. I seem busier than ever, and there's people in the emergency services. It's amazing. It's incredible what they're doing, and they're stretched beyond belief. A lot of us, though, will find extra time, and his challenge was that don't waste that time. We don't want to be judge or jury on how you spend your time, but now's if you've been talking about things you'd like to do, if you wanted to breathe life into an entrepreneurial idea, if you wanted to improve your website, if you wanted to make your online business stronger, if you wanted to do some research, if you wanted to learn a new language, if you wanted to play a new musical instrument, if you wanted to take up a hobby, painting, drawing, those sorts of things, potentially this is a time that could be put to good use. So certainly don't spend all of it binge watching things that are not going to serve you, and in the long run, and when this thing is all over, your friends have moved on because they've knuckled down and they've learned something new. And that was the gist of his challenge to us, was to come out the other side of this period in our lives better, stronger, because we invested in ourselves. So, which leads to reason number 3 why I am here, because I wanted to I've been meaning to do more live video for a long while. I wanted to do more video, and Ellie and I have we've been trying to make that happen, but for a variety of reasons, it seems like procrastination. That includes bringing a new baby into the world and making the adjustments to make that happen. But learning new skills, just getting our heads around what location independent life really was like. And videos, we've got heaps of content, but trying to get it edited and published has been very time consuming, and we've not sort of really cracked that. Now the beauty of live video is you don't have to do any editing, and so we invested in some equipment, and so in here, if you've been watching any of the previous shows, you'll know that behind me, sitting on the shelf, I've had 2 of these Kathmandu green cases, and they hold my camera. The other one's there behind. So I've decided that tonight I am going to experiment with putting the camera into the software and see if we can show you what it's like to have 2 cameras going in this presentation platform. So I've just alluded to, so I'm broadcasting to you from some software called Ecamm Live, and it's a subscription-based service. It only works on a Apple Mac environment, but yeah, it's like a little mini studio. So I won't show you behind the scenes now until you ask. But if you're interested, I can switch this into demo mode, and you can see my screen, and you kind of see the things I have available to me that allows me to sort of do things like this. Well, go Cole. And that's how I discovered that I didn't have the sound on when I played the sound effects, so apologies. So yeah, I'm broadcasting you from Ecamm Live. It's amazing software, and there's quite a lot we can do with it. And so I said to myself, right, now is the time. You've got this subscription, you've had this subscription for a while, and you're not using it. It's a complete waste. Get stuck in. So with pretty little preparation, I started the show on Monday, would be what, Monday the 4 days ago, so what's that, the 12th of April, and here I am 4 days later. I'm going to keep this streak going as long as you guys need some company and some inspiration and some help, you know, so I I've come on, so I want to level up and get better at this broadcasting, and I encourage you to give me feedback. What you like, what you don't like, what could be better, what would you like to see in? You know, there's a few things I've brought in. What have we got here? You know, I want some new sound effects, so send me your sound effects, and I want to add them. Ecamm Live has only got these. And then we have the glockenspiel and the party noise maker and the triangle. And come on, I can do better than that, surely. So why not you help me out? If you've got a favourite sound effect, it's less than 6 seconds long. Let's find a way of sharing it with me. Let's bring it on the show and have a bit of fun. So yeah, send me your sound effects. What else? Now I didn't bring my book, but yeah, what are you reading? Tell us what you're reading. Why are you reading it? How's it affecting you? Maybe that's how you're leveling up. You're reading some personal development books and you're taking some action. Love to hear that. You know, how are you stepping up? How are you utilizing this time to expand your mind, expand your brain? That would be awesome. So yeah, leave a comment and tell us about your book. So the idea of Lockdown Level Up Live is that you're going to choose something that you're working on, or you're already doing it and you're making some progress, and I'm encouraging you to just get out there and tell someone about it. I don't have a huge audience, so you're not going to be exposed to massive people. This is more about just, yeah, I'm gonna push a boundary a little bit. I'm gonna come on the show and I'm gonna show you that I've learned a new chord on the guitar, or I'm gonna share the latest chapter from a book and what I've reflected and how I'm gonna use that to make the world a better place. You may be working on your online business, you know, and I'd love to compare notes. Tell me what you're doing. We have developed quite a lot of online marketing skills. We are, let's say, Ellie is she writes content around the health and fitness industry. She's a freelance writer. Her own SEO skills have developed amazingly and drastically along with mine. So yeah, we've got, we can contribute to your journey. And yeah, if you want a website review, we will be happy to do that. So if you just come in, we've got the timer up there. Anyone who wants a website review, you can share your URL in the comments. You can't share it as a copy and paste, but if you sort of put type out .com, and I can read it and type it into my browser, we can take a look. I'll share the screen and we'll do a little overview, a little deep dive into your website, and you can ask any questions. Email opt-ins, sequencing, nurturing, we've got quite a bit of that going on. All on automation, affiliate marketing. Ellie's making some good sales at the moment around her promotion of Zero Shoes. So we're not gurus and we're not the top people by any means, but we have made some progress in all of these things, and we'd be more than happy to share our experiences. So yeah, if you want to come on the show and talk about any of that, you are invited, and we can do some pretty amazing things. So okay, do you have a comment? Show your face, say hi, let me know that you are alive and well, and remember, we want to know, where in the world are you? Come on, tell us where in the world you are. What does lockdown mean for you? Tell me in the comments. Now I just took that opportunity to have my cup of tea. So yeah. So yeah, why don't let's get rid of the what are you reading? Okay, so remember, Skype ID. I'm just going to leave that up there. Help yourself. If you want a website review, we'll start the clock. You just let me know, okay? And we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to have a crack at putting this camera in, and so I've got a Canon EOS M6. So let me see if I can show you just a little. I'm not going to move the I might be able to show you better when I've actually hooked the camera up. So, so this is me stepping forward. This is me making myself vulnerable to show you that I want to be that person that is showing that now is the time. This isn't meant to be the polished show, Uh, I want to be learning how I can do better, and the only way I'm going to do that is experiment. Now, it would have been, I'm going to use the words easy. It would have been easy for me to be playing around with all this before the show to see if I can make it work. Well, one, there's the issue of just what it takes to. Yeah, we're an unschooling family, so we're used to being home with our kids 24/7, and we know how challenging that can be. So if you are new to this, that's another thing. By all means, if homeschooling, if you found yourself an accidental homeschooler and you are tearing your hair out, we will be more than happy to provide an empathetic listening ear for anything that you may be going through, because we chose to do it and have been doing it ever since the girls were born. It's 24/7. We put ourselves onto the unschooling spectrum. Probably, there's home education followed by curriculum, where you follow a curriculum. That's not us. We very much child-led. We let our eldest dictate what she wants to learn, and we apply that philosophy to our baby, who's turning into a toddler. We watch and observe who they are, what they're interested in, and then we try to facilitate their learning like that. We're not qualified teachers we don't have any formal teaching qualifications, and we don't feel the need to. We will facilitate their learning, which means if they need formal education in any shape or form, we will facilitate that, whether that's putting them into school or introducing them to a teacher or a tutor or a private school around some educational need. We will make that happen. At the moment, we love the development of the girls and seeing what they show an interest in, and just seeing how they respond. And yeah, putting them into different cultures is all part of their development, and we don't benchmark them against anything. It's just letting them both be. That's how we're trying to encourage it. And Ellie and I are both committed lifelong learners. We've had our ups and downs in life, and it has taught us to continually be bettering ourselves and investing in ourselves, making the most of all what we have available to us in terms of knowledge. It's not about being successful, however you define that. It's about contribution. So how can you leave the world a better place than you found it? So that involves empowering people, empathizing with people, and taking pleasure in other people's successes. So I have a personal motto of success and significance through a philosophy of give, take, invest, enjoy. So giving is about, well, maybe this, I want to give my knowledge and my time, make myself available to you. It could be lying next to my daughter right now, cuddling her and putting her to sleep, or I could be here, and now I'm choosing this. So give, take means that it's okay to say thank you and accept gifts of whatever shape or form. That gift could be a compliment. So many people, they receive the gift, the compliment, and they turn around and say, "Oh, you shouldn't have," or "You please don't." Yet they don't often realize by doing that, by declining the offer, you are rejecting, you are failing to give the person who is looking to be altruistic and give. You are denying them the opportunity to give unconditionally, that you get so much pleasure out of. Someone says, "I'm a giver," and they say, "I'm a giver because I love the feeling of giving." If that person then turns around and says, "Oh, you shouldn't have," when someone tries to give to them, they're denying that person that feeling of that privilege. So it took me a long while to learn that. So I stopped calling myself a giver, and said give and take have to happen as a yin and a yang. They have to. I'm not saying they have to be in equilibrium all the time, but givers givers must have the humility to take, humbly accept whatever comes their way, and let whatever the gift is being offered and do so. So give take is an important part of my success and significance for philosophy, followed by invest enjoy. So the invest is that, again, I've invested in a subscription for the Ecamm Live software, and now I'm investing some time in how to use it, how I can get better at it. I'm investing in hopefully the relationships that we could be building. So say leave a comment, let me know, let's say hi. I want to know who you are, where you are, what you're doing, and can I contribute to your world, can you contribute to mine? Let's build a meaningful relationship. That's an important family value of myself and Ellie. And then give, take, invest, enjoy, and that's the payback. There should be some enjoyment from that giving, that taking, that investing in yourself. Enjoy it. Life is to be enjoyed. Ellie and I both believe happiness is a choice. We really struggle with negativity and pessimism. We are very careful about the type of people that we hang around with, who we converse with, because Jim Rohn, a mentor of mine who's no longer alive, I always remember one of the things that he taught me through his books and his videos was stand guard at the door of your mind. And that means, it's very easy to fill your mind with noise and negativity. The newspapers and the news media are, they can corrupt your mind, but so can negative people. And standing guard at the door of your mind requires quite a lot of discipline and some strong will, and sometimes some very difficult decisions around who and where you choose, with who or whom, and where you plan to choose your time. Spend your time. So, maybe I should type that up as a quote. Stand guard at the door of your mind. Stand guard at the door of your mind. It's very important. So, yeah, this is all part of being here. So I'm trying to step up with this Ecamm Live software. I encourage you, come on the show. By the way, if I mentioned earlier who I was, so if you want to check out the website, you can find us there over at parentingpassportsandprofits.com. Online marketing done for you if you want to get stuck into website stuff. And if you're interested in your health and fitness, then get on over to Ellie's site. You can find Ellie at elliemcguinness.com. Thank you for the like, whoever that was, really appreciate that. Come say hi, and reach out to Ellie over there. And if you want Ellie on the show, she's not adverse to coming on the show. It will be a timing thing though for Ellie, because the poor thing, she just needs a rest. She is absolutely exhausted with trying to keep our kids occupied. She hardly gets a moment to herself to breathe, to read a book, and we can't get our children down early. So if you want to talk health and fitness, I'm sure I can encourage her to show up, and we can make that happen. There's lots of ways we can do this. We're going to be experimenting with times, and so let me know. Remember, if you just come on the show, first of all, let's have a bit of fun. If you just come on the show, well done, thank you. And if you liked, then let's do that again. Yay. But where in the world are you? So where in the world? Use the comments to tell us where in the world. Last night I we heard from our friends in New Zealand and Mexico, and they told us what lockdown was like there. So tell me in the comments, where in the world are you? What sort of lockdown environment are you experiencing? It'll be awesome to hear. Okay, so depending on what time zone it is, your kids may be working on leveling up and investing in something. So please feel free to come on the show, honestly, with your kids, and let's have some fun. we are in rural France. I'm talking to you nearly 11:15 at night, so the lighting's not great. I don't want that to get in the way of just being there and being available, and to just have this chance to interact and form these new relationships and see if we can help each other along the way. So I'm not going to apologize for the fact that the video looks like it's pretty grainy. It's another reason why I'm going to try the camera, and that's going to be the experiment. This is just a cheap Logitech microphone. As I get better at this, I'll invest in a excuse me, I'll invest in a better mic. But this was a camera that I invested in about a year and a little bit ago. So it's a Canon. I'm not a photographer. This is a Canon EOS M6 mirrorless camera. And the reason I chose this one was I wanted something that was fairly light to hold in the hand. I've just taken the cap off, and it comes with a default lens. Doesn't do too much. Well, it's not, but like I'm not a photographer. I do everything on automatic. I don't know much about this sort of thing. But obviously, it's going to be a better camera than the inbuilt camera to the Mac. So the idea is that, well, so let's just put this together. The reason I bought this one is it's fairly light in the hand. So if you wanted to vlog, there's a couple of things you can hold it up and you can be recording, and it's not too heavy, and it's got this flip. It's got this flip thing, so I can be how's that? Can be holding it up, and I can see myself as I'm doing the talk. So there's a couple of cameras that do this, but the reason I chose this one, this was the only one at the time, and I don't know if things have changed since then. This camera has, and I'm not too sure on what side and whether you can actually see, but on the side, I think that might be in the way. On the side, okay, it looks like it's the other side. On the side there is a microphone jack, and there was very few what's called vlogging cameras that had a microphone jack. So that's why I invested in this. Can't even remember how much it was. It might have come out around about 1,000 New Zealand dollars with maybe a couple of accessories included. But of course, when you invest in this sort of thing, there's always more. Like I've subsequently found out, I really could do with a power cord. So at the moment I've got 2 batteries. So if I do hook this up, I wouldn't be able to use the camera for the whole show because the battery will run out. Okay, so that's why I want to test, can I plug the camera in for part of the show, and if it runs out, it runs out, but we still got the other camera going, and then the show's not just going to grind to a halt. So this is me. So I think that's why I was going off. I wanted to say it would be very easy for me to have sort of tried all this before the show, to see whether this worked. But there's lots of things I could do, and I thought, no, I want to show you what it's like to experiment, and I wanted you to be part of those experiments and give me some feedback. Laugh at me, laugh at the mistakes I'm making, and correct me, because to learn new skills, you've got to be willing to make mistakes, to cock things up. And this live video environment, like sitting here with this sort of mini studio, is an environment fraught with cock-ups. Like I forgot to turn the microphone, I forgot to put the earphones and the microphone on before we started. So I'm guessing what you heard right at the beginning would have been very muffled, and thank you for staying with it. Hopefully it's a bit better now, and like I say, the video content when you play back is probably a bit grainy. I can't guarantee the internet connection. Like I said, we're in rural France. We are in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where you're being locked down, but I'd love to hear. Remember, where in the world are you? Tell us in the comments. What does lockdown look like for you? But we are in the middle of France. We are in a hamlet of 5 houses, and we're the only English speaking. We're house sitting for a English family. So that's an English family living in France who are currently in Australia looking after one of their relatives. And here we are, a New Zealand family in France looking after their house. So they told us it would be remote, and this is before lockdown, and they were right. It is remote. We've got countryside as far as the eye can see, although behind us there are windmills. So there's like wind farms, which is quite amazing. I've never been up close to a windmill, a wind farm, and it's, yeah, quite. They are totally silent. They're not totally silent. When you get right underneath them, you can hear the whir of the propeller, but remarkable how quiet they are. We can't hear them from the house. You've got to be pretty much underneath the windmill. So that has allowed us to. We've got fields around us. We can. We got 2 acres of garden to look after, and springtime in the northern hemisphere is a new experience. But obviously, with having the girls, it's wonderful that they can go out in the garden and then they can play and they can run around. We're looking after a dog. It's amazing, and we've got a wood just next door to us, so we can kind of walk out into the fields, walk around the wood, and we have seen some wild deer, which is just amazing. I went out for a drive the other day. I say I went out for a drive. I just went to the supermarket to get the emergency supplies. So where we are, we have to fill in a form. But what they've done now is they have provided the form in a online version that you can fill out on the fly. So you don't even now have to sort of fill out the paperwork. But where we are is so rural. No one has ever asked, even when it was a paperwork version. So I went to the supermarket, but on the way back I took a slight detour accidentally and down a wrong country lane, looped back. But while I was going along, 2 small deer just bolted out in front of me across the road. So I hadn't seen the big deer in the forest. The girls had been out a couple of times and seen them and startled them a couple of times. So we're pretty convinced that they live in the woods. So when I saw these deer bounding across the road, I guess that was my chance to sort of see Mother Nature right up close. So we feel quite blessed. Serendipity and Lady Luck looked after us in getting us out of Southeast Asia before the lockdown. We love Southeast Asia. We were there for 3 years, minus 4 months in New Zealand, looking after bringing our second child into the world. So the whole of our world schooling adventure has pretty much been in Southeast Asia, and then this opportunity serendipitously came up starting early in March, and it brought forward our plans to try and get to Europe about 3 months early. We could not have foreseen what was going to happen next, and we obviously could not have predicted what a house sit in France would have turned out like. But here we are. Where I am, I'm in a long kitchen, so we're in it's an old converted barn or house in a rural France. So Ellie just can't believe that she's got this huge house with a kitchen that she can bake and spend time, and we've got access to supermarket supplies. But probably once every 9 or 10 days I'm going out and spending half a day. That's how long it takes me to sort of restock our supplies, because I don't know where anything is in the supermarket. I'm having to check the labels and all those sorts of things. So I don't know, I can't read French very well. Sort of got to take my glasses off and back on again. It's just and then the checkout, you would laugh. I got to tell you about the checkout. Yeah, sorry, I hope you don't mind, but this is funny. The trolley is so stacked by the time I've finished getting the shopping list, that when I get to the checkout, it is probably the equivalent of 3 checkouts. So the woman on the checkout can't get the shopping through quick enough to she's got nowhere to get the shopping through, because I can't get around and stack it and unpack the trolley at the same time. So it's quite a logistic for me to even check out, and I can't even remember how long it took. I was very grateful the other day that the lady behind me could see how this was panning out, and she obviously had to wait. So the lady on the checkout was doing the first round. I went round to start packing as much as I could into the bags to get it out of the way and put it back into the trolley. But then I couldn't keep up, and then I had to go back to unload the trolley, and she said, no, you stay there, you pack. But even then I had to get
I didn't have enough bags and I couldn't restack the trolley in the same way it accumulated. So I had to pick up what was being checked through and move it to the next empty counter where there wasn't a checkout lady, but the space was there, so that the checkout lady could just keep bringing the stuff through. It was hilarious. I was very grateful. No one was speaking English to me. It was just human beings kind of watching how this worked, and it went. So yeah, have we got any comments there? Da, 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 da. Okay. Remember, if you're watching, it makes a world of difference if I know you're there. You don't have to say your name, but if you can just give us a like or a thumbs up, or tell me, anything, where in the world you are, what you're reading. You don't have to come on the show, but just leave a comment. It helps fuel the juice, and makes it all worthwhile. Okay, so I keep going off at tangents, but I was meant to go off at tangents. Okay, this is meant to be fun, and it will be way more fun if you step forward and come and join in the party and tell me how's your day been, or what's your day about to look like. If you're in New Zealand or Australia, maybe you're just waking up, and what have you got to look forward to? Obviously it's Friday where you are, so you're sort of looking forward to the weekend. Here in Europe, we are coming to the end of Thursday, and I guess if you're in the Americas, you're kind of sort of late afternoon, early evening. So what have you got planned this evening if you're in that part of the world? What have you been doing today if you're in the European part of the world? If you're in Australia, New Zealand, what are you looking forward to today? And if you're in Asia, what the hell are you doing up right now? But that's not to stop you coming on the show. So yeah, come on, just leave a comment. What are you reading? Where are you? What's lockdown look? Makes a world of difference. Makes a world of difference. I don't want to be talking to myself for an hour. So where are we at? So we're about 40 minutes. I'm going to go for about another 15-20 minutes. So let's have a play with this camera. Okay, so we got the camera. We are going to turn it on. So it doesn't come with much, this camera, and it's not meant to. I've got so it's got a little, I think this is called a USB-C. Now, so this is all part of my experimentation. So, okay, remember, I'm making this up. I have not tried this. Now, I've got a MacBook Pro, so I'm talking to you, I'm looking directly at a MacBook Pro laptop. I've got it on a little raised stand, and I might be able to show you in a minute. I've got a little portable keyboard, which is part of me investing in my sort of location independence thing. But how this thing works, it's a small. So previously I was traveling with a keyboard and I couldn't fit it into my check bag. So just going back, location independent family, we live out of 2 check bags and 3 carry-on bags. Last couple of nights I've had my carry-on bag, but I haven't got that with me. So my carry-on bag was pretty much a mobile office. And if you go to, let's show you. If you go here, you will see my digital nomad kit. Scroll down the page and you'll see what's in my digital nomad kit. Now obviously with lockdown here we're not going out every day, and I'm working from home. There's enough space in this house that I can work from home. We can kind of create an environment to keep the 6-year-old away from work, not all the time, but we can make it work. So we got 2 check bags, and but I couldn't get my keyboard. Into my pack very easily. So this is a lightweight, very small Anchor keyboard, and I say that's mentioned in the Digital Nomad day pack kit if you go to that website. I've got a raised stand. I've got a wireless mouse, but how this works is the keyboard uses a Bluetooth USB dongle, and the headphones Logitech are connected via a USB cable. And the MacBook Pro, which is an old MacBook Pro, I'm not coming at you with any fancy equipment here. I've kept this from, I reckon it's 2012, 2013. I look after my equipment. I'm not a Ellie and I are not consumers. Sort your time out. So I look after my equipment. Storage space is probably the toughest one, but especially using video, it uses up storage space. But I've got some ideas and some systems around that. So that's something else you might want to feel free to talk about. I'm quite a systems orientated person, so we've got workflows and system docs for a variety of sort of workflows we use in how we are location independent, how we use online tools. Maybe some of those things would be something that you'd like to see. So what have we got here? What's that? And remember, if you're new, how's that? Why you? Oh, yep. So remember, if you are new to the show, remember, head on over, subscribe to the. What happened there? What happened there? Where are you? What are you doing? What are you doing? Is that right? Come back. Oh yeah. Remember, if you're enjoying this or not enjoying it, give me a thumbs down. Let me know. Give me some feedback. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you want to know. I'm going to be experimenting with a little bit with the time zone. If this time zone doesn't work, then maybe we need to try different time zones. Everyone's going to have their different commitments depending on where in the world they are. So yeah, let me know what time zone works for you. Okay, depending on where in the world are you? Okay, right, alright, okay. And remember, what are you reading? That's something else we want to know. What are you reading? How are you developing your mind? Tell me what you are reading. Just leave a comment. Who's the author? What you're getting out of the book? And if you're feeling really brave, hook up on Skype and come on the show. Tell us, give us a bit of a book review. Okay, alright, back to the camera. So what else have I got as part of my digital nomad kit? I've got this little metal stand that is really cool for, so I put this sits on the table, and there you go, it sits on the table. How's that? Can you see that? And so it's really solid, and it just pivots, so it doesn't take up much space. It's not that heavy, but it's a really nice way of sort of being hands-free. So I can just put it on the desk. I can my phone's turned off. Actually, I probably should have put that on wireless, airplane mode, make sure I don't get disturbed, but as I say, it's pretty late, so there's not much danger there. So that sits next to my computer. That's really good. I usually use these earbuds for my input-output, but they're not so good for when you're trying to do this, so that's why we've got these headphones. I will be investing in a podcast mic that I think will work a lot better, but I'm telling you this because it brings it to the problem of this old MacBook Pro only has 2 USB ports. So one of them is being used by the Bluetooth dongle for the keyboard, and the other one is being used by these headsets. So if I want to plug this camera in, so here is the I think they call this a USB-C. So let's see, so there's 2 kind of USB ports on this camera, one on this side and one on the other side, and to the naked eye they look very similar, and I have to confess I don't know what the second one is, but I think the one I want is this one here. It's got so it says mic and USB on this side, and so I'm going to plug that in like that. Now this is just one experiment, so I'm going to be experimenting with sounds. I want experiments with sound effects. You know, I didn't show you, but what we can do here is, you know, we can do screen shares. So I've just shared my screen, as you can see. So there I've got the actual live stream open, but I've paused it so that I'm not talking back and using the bandwidth. Okay, so you can see when I go to screen share, you know, you guys could come on and share your screen and show us what you're working on, but I go picture in picture down here. I can turn that off. Can I turn that show current? current. I'm looking for a way to. There we go. So I can, I can give you the whole screen, or you can see my whole screen. I can turn myself off. I can come back on. So it's amazing what we can do. We can drag in video clips. We can drag in sound, and then when I go back there, you got me full in the face. So I want to get rid of. I want to get rid of that. And so there we go. So we've just plugged in the USB. So what does that mean the other one is? Now there is, it's HDMI. So it's a HDMI cable. So what would that be used for? Anyone help me out there? What would that be for? Okay, let me make sure I've got the comments up. I want to make sure if you got anything. Yeah, do you know anything about HDMI? What would I use a HDMI cable for? Okay, let's not worry about that. Okay, so in order for this to work, I obviously don't want to disconnect the sound, so I'm going to disconnect the dongle. I'm just going to disconnect the dongle. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did plug this in when I wasn't live, and I put it into the microphone one, and the camera worked. I knew it worked. All right, so. And it did work automatically, I think, because when I first got this, there were some problems. Right, so I've just plugged it in, but as you can probably see, the camera is not on. The camera's not on. I don't know if it has to be in a certain mode. I think that was one of the issues, but I've got it in manual P mode. I'm sure. Normally I would just have it in auto, but I'm sure someone said if you have it in P mode, that makes it work. So. The other thing to do is to make sure that so when the lens gets connected, you've actually just got to twist it so that it actually engages. So let me just, so when the camera is not, so when the camera is just first put on, the lens is sort of in shut mode. I don't think you can really see. Let me see. And then what you have to do, you just twist it. I'm just twisting it to engage the first bit. You see the lens popped out. So I'm not a photographer, so there's a few manual settings. I've just kept it on the first one, 15, 18, 24, 28, 35, 45. If you're a photographer, maybe you can come on and tell me what these sort of things mean. I would love to have a manual lesson on how you use this thing, but otherwise I just stick with automatic. So what I'm expecting is when I turn this on, probably nothing will come up on here because it wants to. Ecamm's going to see the camera and Ecamm's going to take it over. But let's have a look. Let's see what happens. It's coming on. Does Ecamm pick it up? Right. So I want to. Have I still got my mouse? Have I lost my mouse? I should have my mouse. Oh, maybe it's my mouse. Maybe it's my mouse. Can you see? There we go. I've got two cameras. You probably can't see that, so how can I show you that? How can I show you that? Camera upload. Not interested in you. Not interested in you. Camera right, it says the Canon camera EOS M6 is so. Okay, I'm going to put this into live demo mode so you can see what I am talking about. Turn on live demo mode. So now what you should see, I've gone to live demo mode. What's happened? Live demo mode. Alright, okay, so now I'm going to share screen, and I am going to go show Ecamm live. Here you go. Right, let's get rid of picture in picture so you can see. So you are actually seeing my dashboard now of how picture in picture should go off, and what you should. I'm going to turn off. We'll take away the camera. We're going to put up the. We're going to put up effects here, and I'm going to turn off the lower thirds, and I'm going to turn off my Skype ID. So these are all overlays that I can add. So you can see the timers up there, so that's an overlay, and that comes with the Ecamm Live software, and showing all scenes, I can turn that off down here. So there's now nothing showing on the screen. But if I was to say current application, so I've got nothing open, so I could go Google Chrome, and there you see, and I've still got access to my dashboard maybe, but you're not seeing that now. So I'll put that back to entire screen. That's what I need to do. No, I don't want to do that. I want to put current application, and the current application is going to be Ecamm Live. Alright, so you are come out of. Okay, I was hoping I could show you the two cameras, but watch now. I'm gonna there you go, look at that. How cool is that? So it worked. That is the camera. So I could, well actually I can now show you around. So here we are in our French hideout. That is our kitchen. That there is my tripod. I'm just going to get that out of the way. Yeah, that's our kitchen. I say Ellie is feeling totally blessed that she has this kitchen. If it was daylight, I'd show you outside to the field. Bathroom at the end there, and over here we actually have I would call that, I don't know what you call that, but it's like a chimney oven, and it's fantastic. So when we first arrived, it was pretty cold. We had to get some warm weather. Now check that out. I wonder if there's a way. I don't know if I can do split screen. I wonder if I could. So it's gone. Oh no, it's getting focused. Good on you. Good on you. So let's we do that. We do that. What do you think? What's the better quality? Obviously that's fighting for some focus. That's already lined up and is happy. But that one, I mean, it's obviously working hard in grainy light. And if I move, don't know.